Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Sylva Overland Railway and our Roundhouse research save. It is day 2. It says that somewhere. And we are getting ready to run the last set of cars up to the Ela Bridge site, so let's do that. Once we get these to the bridge site, we'll be able to drag the other ones back, and later today we will unlock Bryson. Again, this is the second day. We never did get a report the first day. But I think this might be the fastest possible to unlock Bryson. Maybe, I mean, you could probably fine-tune it and do it a little faster, but it's definitely a lot more so than the average player who probably does it on like day 4, one set of cars a day, starting the second day. And of course that's important because, well, for one, if we can get all this stuff unlocked today, keep in mind we just started queuing up industries. So if we can get Bryson done today, we can also get those industries unlocked. And then we'll have all the industries ready to go at the same time at Tier 3. Which I guess on the one hand is going to be chaos for trying to, you know, run the whole railroad with all those industries at Tier 3 with just these guys. But, it'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We do want to get the money in so that we can get the Roundhouse research really going. Right now, we're only contributing 2,000 a day. I'd like to get that up to at least 4,000. But we can't do that just on passenger service and selling our caboose. And so to do that, we're going to need freight money. Keep in mind, once we can get new locomotives, it'll be a lot easier to run this. For one, we won't have to deal with the wheel slip on these two. And for two, we'll be able to haul more faster. I would expect we're probably not going to try and expand beyond Bryson until we've at least got the G16. At that point, I'll start queuing up cars for the next bridge. And of course, the other thing to consider, or another thing to consider, I should say, once we get to Bryson, we unlock Scrapalachia. That means we can buy stuff, we can sell it, we can scrap it, we can get money. If we do it right, with the used market, the amount of money we get from scrapping things exceeds the amount we paid for it. We do have to, you know, get it back over time, but it will be a big help, and it'll be a way to get money. But at the same time, we want to make sure that as we're spending money on buying stuff to scrap and on research, we do want to make sure that once we unlock a bigger engine, we do have the money to, you know, do something with it. One thing I suspect I'll probably be doing once we unlock Bryson is running a mixed train over there. So we'll just have the coach and then the freight cars. And that way we can have one engine running the Bryson and the other one taking care of Whittier and Ela. And I think that'll also help with the loading and timing. I can quickly bounce back and forth between the two. Once we get a third engine, we'll probably have a dedicated passenger train. Which reminds me, something else from the research. I did decide that we're not going to use the used market to cheat what we can research. We might buy that and scrap it later. In fact, you know what? I think in anticipation of getting Scrapalachia open, we're going to buy this. So that's a really good price. $800 to buy it, and then $3,000 to scrap it. That's pretty decent. But I am going to start throwing money at passenger cars, because I would like a combine. our mod includes baggage, and sometimes the coaches fill up with baggage before people. That gets annoying. I could use the boxcar, but I also want to use the boxcar for repair parts, which means we'll also be sending it to Scrapalachia. But anyway, that restriction applies not only to engines, regardless of whether we're scrapping them or not, but also to cars. So, any car that's available but that we can't, you know, do anything, that we can't buy normally, we're not going to be buying it on the used market either. So, right now, yeah, we can get the 40-foot skeleton cars. We can get the basic pulpwood car. That's actually a mod. 8,000 gallon tank cars, 35-foot box cars, and 2 bay hoppers. That's it. That doesn't give us a lot of options if we want to buy stuff to scrap. We do have a couple box cars. Oh, it's actually probably worth buying to scrap as well. The list resets at noon, which is why I'm buying some of this now. The hoppers I'm not going to do. In fact, if I am going to get a hopper, it's probably going to be to reload the coal tower at Bryson. We will need another coal hopper at some point. In fact, actually, that is a good price, so let's grab that now as well. And we'll throw some repair parts at that. Maybe we'll drag it to Bryson. And then we can send it out on an interchange. On the first interchange tomorrow. And we'll use that one probably to keep Whittier good. And then we'll buy another one for Bryson later. So once we've got these cars sorted out, we'll go back and go back to Whittier and sort out which of those cars we just bought is for scrapping and which ones are for keeping. I think we only need the one box car at the moment. Keep in mind, when we unlock Bryson, we also get all the repair parts in that roundhouse. And I think Bryson starts with 75 tons. As long as we don't bin anything, that should be enough to keep us going for a while. Alright, so once again, we'll be parking this on the main line. We'll use both engines to grab those cars. But we'll probably leave one engine here so that the other one can start running passenger service. Alright, so those cars are dropped. Let's go get the other ones. And yeah, we'll send 12 up with this set of cars, and it'll just stay there, and that way when they're done, they're done. And we'll just have 11 make a couple round trips with the passenger train. So this stream is going to be kind of boring. I will warn you of that right now. Oh. Actually coming up kind of fast on those. Hope everyone's been having a good day. I do know there's some sporting event involving a superb owl going on. So, glad you're watching this instead of that. Or maybe you're watching both, I don't know. Maybe it's halftime. Alright, we'll grab those. Oh, wheel slip. Yeah, today's probably just going to be a couple runs to Ela, and then a couple to Bryson. And it'll mostly be setting us up for day 3. Also, I'd like to be done streaming by about 7, because I haven't had dinner yet. And I'm going to be kind of late making it. I'll uncouple Nicholas. Oh yeah, and look at the time. I grabbed those cars pretty much as soon as the interchange hit, so that we can get this done ASAP. Again, we are more or less speed running to Bryson. That. And just like all speedrunners, sometimes you make little mistakes. Alright, I'm gonna auto this guy over. And then we will manually control the other one going back. Yeah. So one going that way, one coming this way. Then we'll time up to probably 6 o'clock and start running freight trains, or passenger trains. We cannot afford any of that. Well, we haven't unlocked any of that, and we can't afford a Boonton coach because we don't want debt. And even if I hadn't bought the other stuff, we couldn't afford it. So we're going to be running on one coach for a bit. We will definitely... Well, we'll need a second one at some point after Bryson. A third one wouldn't hurt. And definitely a combine after that. Because again, I'm pretty sure once we get up to about 2 coaches, there's a bigger chance that we turn away passengers because of baggage space. And the amount of baggage you get might also be something that can be adjusted in the mod settings. That's another one of LEGO Trains mods. I'm running, if not all of LEGO's mods, then most of them right now. I've also been working on some fun little model railroad projects. Can't really show them right now. But you will see them whenever I do a video on the United Northwest Model Railroad show coming up in 2 weeks. The show's in 2 weeks. The video will be at some point after that, of course. Because I will probably be running that engine there, but it's a fun little project I'm working on. But until then, we got snow, we got 440s, and we're running early in the day. And hopefully I'm not throwing this thing off the track. Okay, so 12's at the waypoint. So that means 12 is going to be, well, 12's just going to be sitting there until things are unloaded. And I don't know how long that's going to take. It seemed like it was taking about maybe like 8-9 hours. In which case, it would wrap up a little after 1? I guess we'll find out. There's that in the Whittier. Guess we can keep our speed up. I have had issues with throwing trains in the dirt on this curve, but I think I was going even faster than this. Though with the background music on, I can't actually hear the flange squeal very well. I think I might just need to adjust my sound settings. We'll turn that up, we'll turn that down. Yeah, maybe something like this. And how many cars is that again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I can use the short track for that. So, yeah. And there's the other stuff. So yeah, we'll just park that there. So remember, that thing's at 4%, so we're gonna mark that for scrapping. That thing, I think we also decided, that one I think was also a scrapper. But this one we're gonna repair at East Whittier. And it's okay that there's a limit to how much we can repair it, because it's not gonna go very far. And then we'll have it unload there and load there. Yeah, we'll get that queued up and thrown in the repair shop. I'm gonna advance forward an hour. It doesn't really do anything at this point. The log cars should still be loaded. I guess we could take those down to the mill so they're ready for tomorrow. Ooh, eat, eat, eat. That was probably a bit fast for those. Just a little bit of a ding. Yeah, maybe we have the other engine come fetch those log cars in a bit. Alright. So now we'll kick those two up here, and we'll set that in, and then we'll grab the passenger car and we'll start our runs. I might institute a timetable later this season, but I don't really want to do it until we've gotten the whole railroad together. double check my finances. Okay, yeah, that's all from just buying stuff. I wonder if there was some lag. I swear that said 4,000 at the start of the stream. So we'll select that. And again, we're just going to kick those over here for now. And away you go. I guess we don't want to take him too far because we'll be taking the Bryson pretty much as soon as we unlock it. So we'll get that repaired. At some point we will overhaul it, and then it'll actually be good. But for now we're just gonna patch it up enough to start running coal. Meantime, we'll get that set. That should last us a while, but at some point it's going to run out. I'd rather get the coal cars dealt with before it runs out. And I do kind of want to, well, we'll see. I'd like to minimize the amount of off-camera mining that happens this season. I did some of it last season, especially towards the end when it was just like, we're waiting for stuff to unload, or we're waiting for the next day. We're waiting to earn enough money for this or that or the other. Might have some of that this season too, but hopefully not as much. Dunk. Alright, to the depot. I'd go first person, but I think first person is in the other engine. As long as I'm here, checking the Superb Owl standings, and I'm going a little fast. Okay. I don't really follow sports ball, but my team is in the Superb Owl this year, so I care a little bit. So we'll get in, we'll load up, we'll wait an hour, we'll finish loading up. I'm assuming we're going to. Yeah, we'll need to wait at least 1 hour, maybe 2. And we might just overshoot, but... Nope, coming in like Amtrak, but we're gonna make it. And now we wait. We do actually have a passenger rating now, so we should get more passengers. Hail hydration. Alright, and now we wait 1 hour. This is when we would normally do the interchange if we, well, had one. Just realized I'm not sure what HM and HT are. Yeah, we'll do 1 more hour. 2 hours is about the longest I like to wait, just because of that whole 4-hour thing. Passengers will just abandon your train if it takes more than 4 hours. We don't seem to have gotten baggage yet. Maybe we have to get to Bryson before baggage becomes a thing. Or maybe we just have to unlock a car that handles baggage? I'm not sure. In any case, we are full, so... let's highball. And when we get there, I will check the progress of the freight cars. I'm sure in those 2 hours that passed between us starting to load passengers and us departing, most of them probably could have walked to Ela. But mildly spicy through there. Now we'll do that so that when we stop in Ela, it'll automatically start loading. And yeah, we're pretty much coasting through here. There's not really a need to add power. Brakes. Less brakes. need to figure out a new mic setup at some point. Pretty sure you can hear my keyboard clicks and all that. Right now I've got a snowball mic positioned ahead of my keyboard, or between... No, I guess my keyboard is between me and the mic. There's not really a good way to put it elsewhere. And I don't do this enough to justify one of those fancy hanging mics. When I do voiceovers for my videos, I will usually move the mic in front of my keyboard, but I'm also usually not typing with my keyboard. I just speak, and then stop, and then mess with it. Start breaking. Go. So while you unload and then reload, let's go look at this. So those are halfway, those are not halfway. Oh, that one's for the yellow house track. I guess we'll get that one. I guess we'll get that. Maybe we'll do that one once we're done with everything else. It is kind of awkward that it ended up on the high end of the train, though. It's gonna make it be a little awkward. But yeah, we'll switch that, I think, once everything else is done. And so we've skipped for about 3.5 hours now. Or, I guess, skipped forward 3 and played half. This is going to take a while to unload, by the way. And I'm a little scared to skip time during the unloading process. Yeah, I think if I realized that, I would have cut that car off and we could have tried to do something with it. Anyway, so yeah, I think about 9 hours total. We'll probably make another trip to Ela and back. Or maybe we just do the one trip back and then we'll skip forward the rest of the time. Because it is going to take a while. Perhaps this was a mistake. You know what, we'll try skipping time. But just the 1 hour, because otherwise we'll hit the 4 hours again. Okay, yeah, so that's down to the 23. Some of those will finish up pretty quick. It's mostly that car and these three that are going to cause us issues. Oh, and by the way, this is the Great Northern Gone that it was talking about for what we can get for pulpwood. Okay, let's skip forward one more. And that's one of the mods, that's the Great Northern Gone. Weirdly enough, even though it's bigger than, or not Great Northern, Northern Pacific, I apologize. Even though it's bigger than the other Northern Pacific Gons, it holds less. I have not figured that out. Hello, AJ Mercer. And we're loaded. back to Whittier we go. And yeah, once we get to Whittier, we might just sit until Bryson is ready. Trying to figure it out. Yep. Fireworks are already going off. The game's not over yet, though. Then again, when I checked the score, it seemed to be going well for them. Yeah, it's going pretty well. Knock on wood, so you can hear that. But with any luck, the WWF, Wickaset, Waterville, and Farmington is going to be flying Seahawks flags next time they run. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Wickaset, Waterville, and Farmington got into a probably semi-planned social media feud with the Mount Rainier Scenic over whose team is going to win the Superb Owl. The ultimate deal, after much trash talking back and forth, is that the losing team's railroad has to fly the winning team's flags on their locomotives on their next run, or on a run. So we'll see what comes out of that. By the way, it's a fun way to do publicity in the age of social media. Fortunately, my railroad stayed out of it. Then again, my railroad's home team would be like Boise, and they don't really have any major league teams. And we better once again queue this up to load for Ela. And again, cut throttle a bit because this curve always causes me issues. And then come screaming into the station and throw all the passengers against their seats. I have figured out this neat trick where if you use X, you can switch between the last engine you selected and the current one. Honestly, kind of nice. In this case, I'm using it mostly to check on this. Yeah, I think it's going to be a couple hours. So actually, we'll go back and we're going to uncheck Ela. We're just going to empty the car for now. And and then we'll skip forward a couple hours, and then we'll start loading, because then we can also load for Bryson. But yeah, that's gonna take a bit. Out of interest, how's that car coming? 54%. And the current estimate is 4 more hours and it'll be ready to go to interchange. Okay. We are consuming quite a bit of repair parts, though. We started with 25. We did a little bit for, you know, daily touch-up. So, yeah, that's quite a bit. But once this one's ready, we'll have it going to Scrapalachia. And we'll probably just do a run with this and those. So we'll get all the people off, and then we'll skip time. Once again, for those of you who have joined us for the first time and are wondering, what's this Roundhouse Research thing? Well, we have a mod called Roundhouse Research, and we start with the bare minimum stuff. The weakest passenger cars, the weakest freight cars, and most importantly, the weakest engine. And it does account for mods. What we have to do, every day, we have to spend money in order to research more effective things. Yesterday we spent 2,000 bucks, so at the end of today we'll have another 1,000 pounds of tractive effort, which isn't going to get us anything. And then today we're also adding in some passenger car research so that we can unlock the Boonton Combine. This is of course the Boonton Coach. I'm not sure why they made this the weakest one, but they did. That might be a mod glitch or something. I don't know. We're not going to be researching freight cars for a bit. At some point I will want to. Not so much for better freight cars, but because we also have the scrapyard installed. And as a personally installed rule, we cannot buy anything off the used market unless we can get it on the regular market. I am not going to use the used market to subvert the regular market. And that includes buying things for scrap. And we've got a couple things for the scrapyard already over there. So we did get some more money though. I think that was another 79 bucks. So we will now let those people off and then we'll skip 2 hours. And skipping 2 hours will help us with Bryson. So now we'll load for Ela. If we go back to our other train, yeah, 15 more minutes and that all will be ready to come back. Well, no, 30 minutes. But we'll load what we got now. And there you go. It's day 2, and we've already unlocked Bryson. How is that? So our next train's going to Bryson. Oh, and now we have to deal with baggage. We're gonna skip forward another 15 minutes. Oh, and we finished fixing the hopper. Okay, so 12. I need 12 to come back to here. And then 12 actually is going to need to hold for the other train to arrive. We're going to do 2 runs to Bryson, I think. And you know what, we'll just load this up and go. There's a limit to how many times I'm willing to wait for people. Yeah. So, here we go. Oh, more chats. Oh yes, Susan Lua! Welcome back. It is the Reno with the green boiler. So, we have in fact unlocked Bryson. We're not going to try and get further than that today. Not for a while, because the next milestone, that's a lot of money, and I would rather spend that on bigger equipment so we can pay, or, you know, manage going further. But, we will start grabbing these contracts. That's automatically done. I think that's all of them, yeah. So, 2 runs to Bryson. Well, 2 passenger runs to Bryson. We'll call it good. And move to the next day. Two runs, I believe 2 round trips is the minimum needed to maintain your passenger rating. And we could opt not to run to Bryson today, but we may as well. I mean, there's not really a reason not to. And plus it allows us to start building up passengers faster. Alright, 12's at the waypoint. We're going to have 12 wait until this train is done. And then we're going to have 12 drop off. That was a little spicy. We'll have 12 drop off that one car. Susan Lua had some shenanigans in Derail Valley yesterday. You got the two axle narrow gauge rolling stock in. And 3 gondolas of coal into the huge pit at Coal Mine East. And you needed 2 Heislers and a porter to do it. Sheesh! Was that 2 Heislers and a porter for the little guns or for the big ones? A little more speed. We're only squealing the flanges a little bit. It's fine. Equipment's still at 100%. And full power. I'm not sure what the next engine we're going to get is. It's really going to depend on how much money we have when we unlock new engines and what engines have been unlocked. We're going to need a top up on coal and water at some point. I can do that at Bryson because the coaling tower does have some coal, but we're going to really want to make sure we don't use that up before we have a hopper ready for it. Fortunately, the capacity on these things is pretty small, so that shouldn't be an issue. Alright, so we'll take anyone going to Bryson. There's no one going to Bryson. So it's just going to be those 17 people. Oh! So, 1 Heisler to move the stuff, and then a Heisler and Porter to fix the things you blew up. Okay, now I see, now I see. yeah, that's gonna take a while. We'll auto this thing over to Bryson when we're done. And that way we can do manual control with 12. I think I'm gonna want to do more manual control with the freight train than the passenger shuttle. And also, I'm worried if I run this thing manually, the wreck can blow up. No, I guess you don't blow up in this game, but going in the dirt would be bad with the passenger train. I guess I could do a 15-minute wait here once we're done. Or even just now. See if anyone generates. A couple people did. So once this train is done and out of here, we need to take these 6 cars and set them over here for a second, then grab the box car and put it there. And that'll give us at least a little bit of freight money. And then we also need to grab the scrap stuff and take it to Bryson. Alright. You're good. Oh, you were just chucking stuff in the pit then. Okay. Good, you found your first demo engine. Yeah, those can be kind of tricky to find. I think in my save I found all the demonstrators, but I don't think I haven't restored all of them yet, because that also gets... That's expensive, because first you gotta find them, re-rail them, drag them to the museum, buy the parts, retrieve the parts, install the parts, drag them to the servicing track, service them up. I know that gets really expensive on the steam engines. And then repaint them. That's a lot of steps, and you gotta do it for 6 engines. And in case you're wondering why I'm not just, you know, switching with all this stuff, I don't know if the ladder is long enough for that. I don't think it is. Not with 6 cars. No. It's just a little too long. We're just gonna kick these. And we'll do that so that when the train is ready, it can come straight back. Alright, go get the other car. And apply a couple handbrakes. Yeah, that one's just going right there. Gently kiss it, and away we go. Now, I don't remember what the maximum tractive effort I have with mods. I think base game is 85,000 with the Burke. No, maybe the Burke was 65. 71 for the Santa Fe? Something like that. No, that's right. I've got the D85, which is 85,000. And I don't remember what the 2680 is. I've got that mod. I can't remember what the tractive effort is off the top of my head. Is there one in the used market? No, not this time. But considering it's $2,000 for every 1,000 pounds of tractive effort, that is a lot of money to research all the way to the top of the chain. I think by the time we get to the 2680, it's like 200,000 bucks. Alright, car's been delivered. That's good. DE2 in the parking lot at City West. 280 at Food Factory. 060 at Steel Mill. DM3 at Oil Well. Still need to find the DE6. I think you also need to find the DH4. I don't remember where I found all my stuff. It's been a while. I do remember a couple of them being in really random places. I don't remember if any of them were at the harbor. It did help, I'll say. I cheated a little bit. You can go to the railroad... No, not the Derail Valley wiki, and it'll tell you all the possible places that they'll spawn. And I did that mostly because I knew there were a couple places that were, like, just outside of locations or in between locations, and I wanted to make sure I didn't have to run across every single railroad line on the map to find these things. Alright, that's that. And back we go. And we'll check the map. Didn't they have cars there before? Oh, I thought I did. I guess they got interchanged away at 6 o'clock. Okay. Well, that's convenient for me anyway. Actually, probably what I'll do... Yeah, no, I do have to put those there. Okay. Okay, DH4 you did find. And yeah, DE2 in a parking lot does sound kind of funny. Does explain why you had to fix it, though. Not besides the fact that it got thrown into the parking lot, you probably had to replace all the wiring. Probably got stolen. It is kind of funny looking at an engine from this angle, where you can see that the rods are not synced with each other. They've got that quartering. It's really fun at low speeds when it's super obvious. Oh, we need... Not what I did, but we did need stuff. Wrong button. But don't be giving me flange squeal at 27. Speed limit through here is 30. Actually, I think what we'll do to try and minimize downtime, yeah, we'll couple into those, pull back, and then go forward. And we'll also grab that car. And then we'll just need to make sure we get the hopper in the interchange before the next one, which is tomorrow. And there's going to be a lot to do. Where's our passenger train, by the way? Passenger train is almost to Bryson, so we'll be bringing that back pretty soon too. Let's tone down our speed a little bit. And 11 is at the depot. It will not take long to unload. It might take a bit longer to load. Oh yeah, and at some point we need to get the logs off the mountain. That might be after we make the freight run to Bryson. Whichever engine gets back first, either the second passenger run from Bryson or the freight haul to Bryson. We'll just have to go up the mountain and grab log cars. We're gonna skip another hour. And then once this thing is coupled in, we'll check and see if the passenger train's ready to head back or not. I mean, I'll probably just send it back, whatever its load is at. Because I'm trying to balance get more money with don't be playing for absurd amount of time. Oh, by the way, is there a Boonton coach in here? No. Bummer. Anything good in here? Any goodies I can scrap cheaply? Well, no, because I can't unlock any of that. I haven't unlocked any of that. Whoa! We're in the dirt. And I got caught monologuing. Okay. That was not fortunate. And it's not that bad. And I don't care about that. So. But I don't think I've unlocked, well, I guess I've unlocked that. But that's not worth it. Or that. Yeah, there's nothing I can scrap this time, so we're not going to grab anything else. I was not smart there. So we're gonna set, no, not sell. We want to load at scrap. We want to sell at scrap. And we also want to sell that at scrap. And we're just going to be running 12 into the dirt for a bit, I guess. So we're gonna, yeah. How you doing? Yeah, let's give it another 15 minutes. Gives this engine a chance to grab its stuff and get up to Ela anyway. I should tie the air in there because we are going to be running this pretty quick. let's grab the last boxed car. We'll top off on coal and water, and then we'll head out. And we'll have the other engine head out too. I think the stream is going to be a bit longer than I anticipated. That's okay. Late dinner is fine. I need to practice my fasting anyway. A little more speed. Tie that in, and then we'll just load up with coal and water real quick. It's a good thing the paint doesn't turn brown. What was VNT number 13 again? Was that Empire? I think that's the very pretty one that's still at California State Road Museum. In the big glass hall. Yeah, you're full. So you can run back to Whittier. And to give myself a bit of protection, I am going to do that. So it won't... Well, actually it will. So if I really want to protect myself, I need to drop a flare. Because it'll throw switches. Waypoint mode will throw switches by itself. Alrighty, let's go. I just realized I had the throttle on the whole time there. That's okay. We'll save. I've been saving a lot lately. You can tell. So away we go, and I guess we'll meet the passenger train at Ela. And more fireworks. Has the thingy ended yet? Nope. But that is a very lopsided score. can see why people are shooting off fireworks, but comebacks are a thing. So here's us, here's them. We've got less distance to go, and we can travel faster because the caboose mod will limit them to 35 miles an hour. Or the speed, I guess it's called better cabooses? I call it the speed limit mod. Will limit the AI train to 35. And that's because they have a passenger car. We, without a caboose or passenger car, would normally be limited to 25, but I'm running so we can go as fast as we dare. Which, you know, is admittedly how we ended up in this spot to begin with, but we won't worry about that. One thing I am going to do while we're coasting through here, we're just going to put a big scrap on that. We can hammer down a bit more. We will... Well, if I take away the fusee, we're going to need it, so I will not take away the fusee yet. We should be fine, though. Knocking on wood and applying some brakes. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna pull that. I can always go drop another one if we need it. We'll turn that off for now. Yeah, just throttle on the ceiling and let's go. Guess we don't want to throttle on ceiling because we're just gonna have to slow down at Ela again. And I'll catch the switch when we go past it. Yeah. Okay, and the other train is just at the bridge, so we're gonna have to wait a bit. A little faster than I really need it to be, but that's okay. Up there it comes down. At some point I will run trains as like actual trains and not just the shuttle. That'll probably happen when we get more than one car. Because it does take a bit of time to turn the train around at each end. It's a 30 curve on the other side of this bridge. Now, I do think that before I get beyond Bryson, I'm going to want to be able to, if not retire both of these engines, then at least kick them down to local service around Whittier and Bryson. Because I think trying to go up hills with the wheel slip thing at 100% is going to be a pain. Come around this corner, and then I think we can pretty much just highball it. Highball it through Gov Island and then start slowing down for curves again. I don't think we'll make it to Bryson before the other engine reaches Ela, or Whittier, but I'll at least give ourselves some time to work with while we're there. Throttle in the ceiling, bar as close to center as we can get. There is a bit of a summit here. It's not a big one, but if you got a long enough train and a light enough engine, you'll notice it. We do have a light enough engine, but we don't have a heavy enough train. So crest it here, and we'll just kind of coast for a bit. I don't actually know what the next curve is like, and when we really have to start slowing down. We'll slow down a bit. We'll start kicking our speed down. 10-pound set? We'll set ourselves down to about 45 for now. Not hearing the squealy flange noises yet. Okay, yeah, definitely a bit more grade here, though. Fortunately, it's a fortunately for us, it's a downhill grade. I'm sure someone's made a speed table of how fast you can go around a given curve. And again, it'll depend on the engine. The bigger ones are not very tolerant of curves. missed the road back there somewhere too. Oh, I guess we will beat it we will get to Bryson before it gets to Whittier. Okay then. And then we highball through Bryson, and we'll drop these cars and we'll go straight back. Start working on logs. There's our scrap line. I don't actually know what that curve is. Only 7 degrees, we'll be fine. Oh, but that's our switch, so we better slow down more. So, let's see. The first car kicks that way. So that one goes to loading. And then the other two go to the actual deadline. And we'll shove them fairly far down. That way we can fit more stuff in there later. And we'll probably get a car for all the scrap that we generate. So we'll make sure that gets a little ways in too. That should be good for now. Alright, we're gonna get that out of there. And you have reached your destination, so we'll again load you up for the next one. Not many passengers going though. Might have to do another time skip or two. No. A little more. I keep forgetting there's so many switches with this. And we'll just start heading back. Not gonna reverse it, we're just gonna keep going backwards. Yeah, we will keep it to some speed limit though, so that I don't accidentally fly off the rails while I'm checking on the other train. So once we get the little notification up here, we'll do another time skip. We are actually going to be kind of busy the next time we come through here, I bet. Because we're going to be tier 5 for, well, let's see. We'll probably have, each of those will get a car. Those will get a few cars. That'll get a car. So that's about 6 cars, plus whatever the freight house does. Which doesn't sound like a lot. That's, you know, 7 or 8 cars only. But we're hauling 7 or 8 cars and a passenger car because it'll be a mixed train with one of these. And the one of these is not very strong. Still unloading. And we'll probably have it running on auto as well, just because we can then use the time to run wittier stuff with this. There we go. Alright. So I'm gonna let this go weak. And we're gonna time skip in 15-minute increments until we get this thing a little more loaded up. And hope I don't crash the other one. And it still seems to be fine. And we'll take it all the way to 4 o'clock. Aren't you glad Amtrak doesn't do this? And one more. And that'll fill up the train. Coming through Gov Island now. We are going to need to take the siding again, but we're already set for that. Okay. We will set the point in Bryson. And away he'll go. And we'll get this thing into the siding at Ela, and then I'm going to step away for a second. Until then, enjoy this lovely background music. again. Alright. What are we down to now? 7. Ugh. This poor thing. This is gonna use up a bunch of repair parts. I might have to send it to Bryson next time. Alright, I'm back. So it counts like... Okay, so we'll be able to get all the Bryson people on. Just have to wait for it to leave now. There it goes. Yeah, so we'll make a log run, grab the logs down, and then this thing's going in the shop. See if we can get back to Whittier in one piece, eh? And here we go, we've come back around the circuit. We are back at the start of the playlist. Don't need to be running that fast. Fireworks are still going off. Well, I guess it's not going to be quite the blowout. I'm going to have to double check my squares. I'll check it later. Okay, passenger train at Gov Island. Excellent. Not go off the track a third time. First two were bad enough. Already scratching and denting the equipment with that. We do need a bit of throttle going up this branch, but not too much. And we'll throttle that so that it's ready when we come back. And now we just kind of mosey our way up the branch. Officially, it's a 25 speed limit. We're going to try and go 30 up. Coming back will be better. Coming back, I might auto this thing. We are flying up this branch. I don't need to be flying up this branch. But I think now it's going to get steeper. So that'll help bite down the speed. One thing I will say, if tomorrow a Boonton coach comes up and we can afford it, I'll probably get one, and then we'll take it to Bryson for a rebuild, for overhaul. I almost said if it comes up in the flop. I've been watching, I watched this, one of the jet lag series. Oh, there we go. Just in time. And the flop is what they use to describe their tickets that they can compete for. we're getting close enough we can turn that down. Switches should be lined for us up there, right? Yeah. Not sure we can actually set these things to unload until we are ready to deliver cars. Let's find out. We might have to do a midnight unload. Yeah, we'll have to do like a midnight break so that we can tell the cars to unload. And 11 is at Bryson. So we'll do this real quick. Just quick enough that it won't matter. Or quick enough that we won't hit anything. Whew. That was also pretty sharp. Big speed misjudged there. Good. And away we go, down to the next spot. And actually, I might need to step away pretty quick. So we're gonna waypoint this one down because it'll run it again. It'll speed limit itself at 25 miles an hour, which is what we want because that's the speed on this branch. That means we can go over here and check on you. Now we're gonna have to do another couple time skips. I've got the oven on so I can start working on dinner once the stream is over. Used up a lot of coal and water today, but we'll have time to refill it. Probably what we'll do is once this train's on its way back to Whittier and the logs are at the sawmill pond, we'll just call it a stream, because after that it's just boring cleanup stuff. And since that is gonna, that's not gonna take too much longer, but we'll go check on this train. Oh yeah, there's the log depot. Okay. I don't think I really want to be risking running this thing fast anyway. Especially since we keep taking its condition down, bending the curves. Sheesh. I must have almost wrecked it like 3 times now. On top of the 2 times I did wreck it. Alright. Other train needs more people. We'll go 1 hour. Oh, it's gonna load the Elo ones first. Bummer. I was hoping it would load the Whittier ones first. And that's the oven. Oh, still loading. And you're away. So, down the mountain you go. We'll go back to manual. May as well. This is so much weight, or at least it feels like it. It's not really. I think we can probably just coast down the mountain now. Especially with everything squealing like that. We're not even at 25 yet. £5 set ought to do it. Maybe 8. Yeah, we do have a bit of leeway. I think this branch is actually good for 30. We're certainly going 30 up it. Doesn't help that the grade is variable. Like right now it's less than 1%, but as we saw on the way up, there's places where it's closer to 2%. We're almost down though. Then we'll do top off on the coal and water, shove this thing in the shop, and throw the keys in the dirt and go home. I mean, I am home, but you know what I mean. And now we're down. We can put the hammer down too. Just need to get right over there. Where's the passenger train? Passenger train is only at Gov Island. Yeah. Oh, and we need to kick the coal hopper over to interchange as well. So we'll do that too. I just realized, is that track uphill? No? Looks like it. Maybe this one's downhill. No? Maybe my eyes are just weird. Those don't look like they're on the same level, do they? Because to me it looks like the log track goes up. I think it's just me. give these a solid kick. Like 10 miles an hour ought to do it. Maybe 7 or 8. And then let's go get the hopper. We can afford to let them bounce a little bit. They do have to go around a curve too. So we need that. And we'll kick it over. Yeah. It's only 10 miles past due an overhaul. That'll be a job for Bryson. Can't remember where that track begins. Just let him roll. This one we can just kind of kick at whatever speed. Because it will get there. Yeah. Yeah, as long as it couples in, it'll be fine. And then we water this one. Okay, yeah, that's good. It seems to have hit and bounced back, so we're good. We'll just send it the main way. Simplify. And let's get you into the shop. Tomorrow, this one is definitely going to be the Whittier switcher, especially since I don't know how fixed it's going to be. It should be fully fixed. And that's that. So, this engine is in the shop. The other one's at Ela. We'll wait for it to depart before we end the stream. If you save and quit in the middle of unloading, it doesn't count anything that was unloaded before you saved. So, let's see, locations. Maybe it'll be ready by midnight? I don't know. In any case, we will call the stream here as soon as this song is over. At least that's the intent. It depends on how long it takes to unload everyone. And then, yeah, like I said, I'll just finish the day off camera. You don't have to worry about it. Basically, we're going to unload this, we're going to park everything, turn the day over, set the log cars to unload, and then probably bring it up to just short of the first interchange, and that way you can see what we get in the first interchange. It'll be a surprise to all of us, but I'm expecting a lot of cars. I think it'll be like, well, let's see, it'll probably be, if we look at the map, a couple cars for Ela, one for Hollifield, 2 for Stenzel, so that's 4 or 5 right there. 9, I'm going to guess 8 or 9 for this. So potentially 14 cars for Whittier and Ela. And then as we mentioned earlier, possibly another 7 or 8 for Bryson. I'm not expecting to buy anything for scrap tomorrow. But we'll see. If we can get something cheap that'll make us money and get us parts, because we're going to need parts, that by itself is going to make it worthwhile to buy stuff to scrap. Plus, you know, we get money for hauling scrap away. Kick the last bum off. There you have it. So, as the train leaves Ela, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this stream. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a comment down below. But do the like, subscribe, all the blah 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 YouTuber things. You hear it every time you watch a video. We'll be back on Wednesday to get to the next day, and we're probably going to start doing multiple streams per day again. Until then, take care.